Rstv, bring you the news as it is.
On the highlights, Rivers State government launches newborn screening program to reduce infant mortality morbidity. Senate to accelerate constitutional amendment on state police. Plus, Nigeria Cameroon sign agreement to improve air safety. Good afternoon and welcome to the news at 3. I am Catherine Ago. Rivers State is the treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take it to greater heights. This is the task we must accomplish. You can watch our news live on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at RSTVPH. You can also subscribe and click on the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. Now, details of the news. Rivers State Deputy Governor Professor Ngozi Odu says the introduction of the newborn screening program at the Rivers State University Teaching Hospital is a proactive step towards reducing infant mortality and improving child health outcomes in the state. Professor Odu made this known during the launch of the newborn screening program at the Rivers State University Teaching Hospital in Port Harcourt. She explained that newborn screening is simple but powerful medical intervention that enables the early detection of certain genetic, metabolic, hormonal, and congenital disorders before symptoms appear. According to her, the state government's budgetary allocation to health sector in 2025 was substantial, adding that the governor believes the healthcare directly impacts the citizenry, especially less privileged, which underscores his strong support for the Rivers State Contributory Health Protection Program. Professor Odu emphasized that a newborn screening program is not just a medical service, but an investment in future of children and the prosperity of society. Commended the Chief Medical Director, Management and Medical Team of the Rivers State University Teaching Hospital for the laudable initiative. In his remarks, the Chairman of the Rivers State University Teaching Hospital Management Board, Dr. Tamuno Iriari Samson Parker, commended the Chief Medical Director and his team for their dedication and called for increased support from the state government. A fortnight ago, the ruling All Progressives Congress won both Ahoda East Constituency 2 and Kano Constituency 2 in Rivers House of Assembly by elections. Obuka Omeda will look at its significance and the way forward to achieve credible elections in 2027. Take a look.
The by-elections were necessitated by the resignation of Edison Ihi, the former Ahoda East constituency lawmaker, and the death of Dinebari Lolo, the former Kana State House of Assembly constituency 2 lawmaker. In Ahoda East, Okalikpe Napoleon of the APC won with 3,980 votes, defeating Ego Marvelous of the Action Alliance AA, who secured 33 votes. The returning officer, Professor Rosemary Ogbo, declared Okalikpe the winner, stating he met all constitutional and electoral requirements. In Kana, Lolo Bulabare Henrietta of the APC also emerged victorious, polling 7,647 votes. Reacting to this development, respondents described the election as peaceful, with minimal security presence and low voter turnout in some areas.
The people of Ahoda East and that of Kana AGA, they have actually spoken through their permanent voters card, alias PVC. And I give kudos to God Almighty, the INEC, and that of the leader of Rivers State Politics, Chief Barrister Ian Mwike, the FCT Minister.
The election held, and it was transparent, free, and fair by the assessment of any fair-minded person in the society. The reason is, Sir Honorable Napoleon Okalikpe is a peace-loving man, loved by many
To what extent is the implications of these results? Dr. Raphael Muche is a social commentator, and he opined that the APC's victory in both constituencies may strengthen its position in Rivers State politics. Dr. Muche, who is also a lecturer at the Federal College of Education Technical Omoko, said the low voter turnout could indicate voter apathy or dissatisfaction with the electoral process.
I equally want to appreciate the governor. In spite of the worrisome situation, he has been choosing the path of peace. It's a kudos to him. I pray God should give him all he requires, making sure that peace is paramount. And the life of Rivers State indigene does not want to be sacrificed for anybody to attain it.
Governor Siminalayi Fubara has expressed readiness to work with the new lawmakers, describing the wins as well-deserved and reflecting the confidence reposed in them by their constituents. Political observers said the peaceful conduct of the elections is a positive sign for Nigeria's democratic process. The reaction of other political parties hasn't been extensively reported, but the APC's victory is seen by many as a significant boost to its influence in the state. The PDP, which previously held power, may need to regroup and reassess its strategy. As the nation prepares for 2027 elections, election observers are advocating a non-violent election. In the meantime, analysts are calling on the newly elected House of Assembly members to hit the ground running and ensure they deliver on the electioneering promises in view of the little time they will have in the office.
What is important now is for these honorable members of the Rivers State House of Assembly to deliver impactful projects to enhance the welfare of those who have voted for them, considering the fact that their good performance will speak volume for them in this very short period of service in office, because I think they have just a very short time. So it is expected of them to do the needful to ensure that the essence of why they were voted are not being defeated.
Ogbuka Umeda, Rstv News.
Its television has been commended for its informative, educative and entertaining programs, which has kept the public glued to the channel. Vice Principal of International Giants Christian Academy, Henry Fineboy, made the commendation when he led pupils and students of the school on an excursion to the television station in Ililingwe. Melvin Jackson has the details.
Mr. Finebone, who thanked Rstv for giving them opportunity to embark on tour of its facilities, stated that Rstv has impacted them positively and broadened their horizon on television broadcasting, which according to him will influence the career choices of the students. The vice principal said the vision of the school is to raise future leaders who will impact their generation in all spheres of life, noting that Rstv has quality manpower who are professional media practitioners, which is one of the reasons they choose Rstv to enable the students have a first-hand knowledge of television broadcasting, believing that the knowledge gained will make a positive difference in their educational pursuits. He called on other schools to equally bring their students and pupils to also benefit from the station, while advising his students to make good use of the knowledge and experiences acquired.
Okay, it was a very good experience. They took us to the control room, they showed us the masts, the engineering area and the rest. It was quite a good one, and the tour guide did well to explain the various components and the operations of the station. When they are watching these TV stations, they will know how those things they are watching came about, and many of them will dive into professions, careers that are related to telecommunications. So it's very good and advisable that from this stage they begin to know how these things are done and how the operations are carried out.
Some students expressed their joy and experiences about the excursion.
It was fun, it was lively. Our tour guides, they taught us well, and I learned more things about it. Now, I'll just tell them thank you very much for bringing us to this wonderful excursion. It was really nice. I enjoyed my view of this place. It was really nice.
I'm happy, delighted to be here. It has been a really thrilling experience in Rstv today. It has been my greatest passion to visit Rivers State's television studio. So I've not been opportune to know more about how the news is able to get to my TV. I'm just very delighted to be here.
Earlier, some of the students
blood, it takes blood away from the heart. Send blood, it takes blood away from the heart.
Addition reaction is the reaction between an acid and a base to give out carbon dioxide, salt, and water.
So that this is the addition reaction and this is going to act as a redox reaction. And one more electron here to balance both ions.
Melvin Jackson, Rstv News.
The Senate has signaled its Diamodu said the president's call was received as accelerated legislative attention, adding that the near unanimity, according to Senator Adaramodu, the National Assembly has made significant progress on constitution review process even before the president's public appeal. He explained that the only reason for the delay in concluding the broader constitution review exercise which required concentrated legislative reform constitution to allow for the establishment of state police as part of efforts to address the country's deepening security crisis. Rivers State is the treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take her to greater heights. Remember, you can watch our news on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok and Instagram on Greater Heights. Remember, you can watch our news on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok and Instagram on Rstv PH. You can also subscribe and click on the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. Still to come after the break. Military plane carrying banknotes crashes in Bolivia, killing 15. And in sports, Super Eagles goalkeeper Obasogie debunks match-fixing allegations. These and more stories after the break. Stay
different.
Welcome back. Now to the rest of our news stories. The transmission company of Nigeria, TCN, Benin region has announced a scheduled outreach on the Benin-Ajokuta 330 kg transmission to allow the ongoing restraining works at the Iwobo Power Plant turn-in-turn-out transmission substation. In a statement signed by the General Manager, Public Affairs, Ndidi Mba, said the exercise began on February 27, 2026 and will continue daily from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily until March 31, 2026. The company warned that the Benin Electricity Distribution Company will be unable to supply electricity to 10 hours daily during the project. The company explained that temporary power interruptions and TCN apologized for any inconvenience to customers, assuring that full bulk power supply will be restored to the DISCO upon completion of the project. The Defense Headquarters has said the military support being provided by the United States government to Nigeria was not out of place and did not pose any threat to the country's sovereignty. The DHQ stressed that the U.S. assistance came at a no cost to the federal government and was focused on training Nigerian troops and strengthening ongoing counter-terrorism operations. Addressing journalists during a briefing on ongoing military operations in Abuja, the Director, Defense Media Operations, Major General Michael Onoja, said the collaboration should not be viewed as abnormal. Major General Onoja urged the public to focus on the value the partnership was adding to Nigeria's military operations rather than the number of foreign personnel involved. The defense spokesman explained that the U.S. personnel in the country were primarily engaged in training programs, likening it to situations where Nigerian officers travel abroad for training. He said the military leadership, including theater commanders and chief security officers in affected areas, remain on top of the security situation and are taking necessary steps to prevent further attacks. Major General Onoja also called on the media to report security developments responsibly, warning that excessive publicity of terrorism activities could serve the interest of insurgents by spreading panic on concerns surrounding the federal government's de-radicalization and rehabilitation program for surrendered insurgents, known as Operation Safe Corridor. Major General Onoja said the initiative was currently under review. Nigeria and Cameroon have formally signed a bilateral agreement on technical aeronautic search and rescue operations, strengthening aviation safety cooperation across their shared airspace. The agreement was signed in Yaoundé, Cameroon's capital, following high-level talks between Nigeria's Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, and his Cameroonian counterpart, Minister of Transport, Jean-Ernest Ngagale Behe. Keyamo, who announced the development on Saturday, said the composition of the delegation was deliberate, aimed at ensuring a unified approach to implementation from the outset. The agreement establishes a framework for technical cooperation between the two nations in the event of aviation emergencies occurring in or near their shared border regions. The signing comes months after a Nigerian Air Force C-130 aircraft made an emergency landing in Burkina Faso following a mid-flight technical fault. On the foreign scene, South Africa have embarked on mass vaccination of cattle to stem an outbreak of foot-and-mouth disease that threatens to disrupt meat, dairy and livestock supplies and exports. The outbreak, which started intensifying late last year and has rapidly spread across the country's livestock industry, has already affected more than 297,000 cattle and resulted in over 120,000 animals being killed as farmers try to contain the spread. The outbreak threatens mass shortages of meat, job losses and millions of dollars in lost revenue as countries including China and Zambia ban South African meat exports. Agriculture Minister Vince of KwaZulu-Natal has been identified as the hotspot being the outbreak, with over 17,000 farms affected, and has been officially declared as national disaster, a legal framework that will allow the government to allocate emergency funds that will mostly be used to procure vaccines. The National Treasury has allocated about $25 million to fight the outbreak, which will mostly be used to buy vaccines. Still on the foreign news, at least 15 people have been killed and others injured after a Bolivian Air Force cargo plane crashed in the western city of El Hato. Aviation officials say the plane was arriving at El Hato's airport from the city of Santa Cruz, where it reportedly skidded off the runway and hit nearby vehicles. Meanwhile, the Air Force commander has confirmed its C-130 Hercules was involved and that it had been transporting banknotes to the Central Bank of Bolivia. Police fired tear gas to disperse crowds allegedly trying to take the scattered banknotes. However, the government-run Bolivian news agency reported that at least a dozen people were arrested for stealing banknotes. And in sport, match fixing also vowed to clear his name from any wrongdoing. The 26-year-old was suspended by Tanzanian Premier League club Singida Black Stars SC for 3 months on Friday. The short stopper was alleged to have manipulated the outcome of a CAF Confederation match as well as a domestic game, overseeing errors and not deliberate misconduct. The former Bendel Insurance shortstopper is expected to appear before a disciplinary committee to clear his name. Rivers State is the treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is the task we must accomplish. That concludes our news.
I'll be right back.
I know the questions there.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Are these questions on the list of questions my people sent to your producer? They are embarrassing me.
Why are you supposed to set up questions in the first place? Or you have something to hide?
No. Hide care. I mean, it's just that, we are trying to prevent a situation where you forget to ask the coded questions that you need to ask. We're trying to help you. I need to remind you at this point that we have a very generous package for you and your producer.
Questions like the contracts or the children's hospital or the allegations against your brother over the huge sum of money he collected when he was not even a contractor? Chief Archie Justice, you know, the media has a duty to present facts to the people. And of course, you know, accountability and transparency is important. And if there's no accountability and transparency, that's how corruption thrives. But it will happen on this show, and certainly not in my country. Welcome back. We still have Chief Justice with us. Wow, he has disappeared.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, with support from the MacArthur Foundation and with broadcast support from the Rivers State.
Rstv, your source for authentic coverage.
She's the governor, one award which says he has had his eyes focused on the ball, and one award that has also shown how reflective and how deeply this governor thinks. You got an award and you dedicated it to someone, and you said to the world, this man discovered me. It shows humility, it shows direction, it shows upbringing, and it has gotten people, Nigerians, thinking again about who the man, His Excellency Siminalayi Fubara, really is. I think it's a good narrative, you know, for all Nigerians, and for me as a Rivers person. I'm happy to be alive to see something like this happen.
Rstv, your source for authentic coverage. View us on YouTube, Rstv Online, Facebook.
In life, there's always going to be someone who does not believe in you. Just don't let that person be you. As a human being, you're one of the most powerful forces in the universe. You have the ability to bend reality, to influence your life and even the lives of others in a desired direction, to rise above any challenge, to tap into the principles of cause and effect to your advantage. But in case you're not yet living in this abundance, in case you're not all invisible shackles of limitation. Invisible because the shackles, that is the mentality, the frame of reference, the ideologies that are actively inhibiting the expression of your greatness are totally invisible to you. They're all around your space, interwoven in your culture, ever present in your day-to-day, like the fish is surrounded by water and yet they don't see it. You see, you're engineered for greatness and designed to succeed. As God said, let us go and confuse their tongues, for there is nothing they can accomplish in agreement. There is nothing you can accomplish because you've been given the dominion to rule your world. You see, humans are the only animals who are not physically designed for flight, but has found a way to fly. We're not engineered to survive long underwater, but we're actively documenting the seabed. We've conquered land, air, and sea. We have defied gravity. We've literally pinned our flags in the moon. And now we're headed for Mars. You can talk to anyone, anywhere in the globe, in real time. Everything that we take for granted today are things our forefathers could only ascribe to sorcery and magic. But yet, this is just the beginning. You see, all this we do because we can, and much more you will do because you can, because you're like a seed with the potency of a tree. In other words, you are a tree in the guise of a seed, for everything that you're ever looking for is already within. And when you truly understand and connect with this, you stop living in scarcity and start experiencing your abundance. When you understand this, you stop thinking that somehow some people are better off and start connecting with your essence, your purpose. You see, you've always been successful, always succeeding at your self-belief. Because when you think you can, you're right. And when you think you can't, you're also right, because you actively apply yourself towards the direction of your belief and succeed at it. You see, the problem is not that you don't have greatness. The problem is that you don't see greatness, and so you don't expect greatness. As Michael Jordan said, you must expect great things of yourself before you can achieve it. Before you can accomplish anything worthwhile, you must first come to the belief that you can. But how do you, like the seed, express your tree When you're not in the right environment, getting the right nutrition, how do you express your greatness when you're not connected with the right resources, with the right people? How do you express your greatness? Nelson Mandela puts it better when he said that education is the most powerful weapon with which you can use to change the world. But I